Hello, world. I've decided to do this uh, video as a kind of experiment, really, just to see what I can do with it, as it were. Um, I shall probably ramble a bit, so I apologize for that. If I do, of course, you know where the off button is. Um, okay, so let me just briefly introduce myself. My channel name is the Laird of Kee-tah-kew-shoo, which is, of course, a nickname, and it's a bit of a joke, or meant to be a joke, because there are no proper lairds in Japan. Kee-tah-kew-shoo is where I live, but uh, it's a carryover from when I had a rugby web page where I called myself the Laird of Kee-tah-kew-shoo. My real name is Ian Ruxton, Ruxton, and so I just use it as a bit of a joke. So that's that out of the way. Now, next, yes, I live in Japan and have lived here for, gosh, an awful long time. 1988 is when I came, April 1st. And although I've been back to the UK many times over the years, I've never lived anywhere else since 1988. So I don't know. It's not a record, of course. There are people who've been here longer than I have, but it's a pretty long time. My wife is Japanese, and so there we are. I'm kind of anchored here. Okay, so naturally, according to British law, I don't have a vote in UK elections, haven't had for a long time now. I forget how long it was. It was 15 years. So I look at the whole thing, well, UK political scene with some bemusement, and sometimes concern and alarm. I have to say that at the moment, things are not looking terribly good, are they? So that we've got a Conservative government that's been in power for 13 years and seems in many ways to be exhausted, or perhaps just the British public is fed up with them, has had enough. But look at the alternatives, and they don't seem to be terribly appetizing either. Well, not to me anyway. Of course, not having a vote, I can say these things, and it makes no difference at all. But still, yeah, Labour, or possibly Labour with the Lib Dem coalition. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know that the sort of pressing problems that the UK has these days could be tackled any more successfully. Well, perhaps we'll see next year. I think the election is due, and I suppose I would like things to improve, obviously, between now and then. If you wish Britain well, then you have to wish things will improve, regardless of who's in charge. And so there we are. It's a difficult situation. I really don't even want to talk about one of the most pressing problems. Well, there are several, but there are strikes. There are things like what's happening with the National Health Service, education, and the economy generally. The cost of living seems to be number one at the moment for most people. Not surprisingly, with things going up as fast as they have done recently, after the disaster of the Truss government last year. And then, of course, there's the whole issue of migration, both short-term and long-term, legal and illegal, and what can be done about it. I must say, the other day I was more than alarmed to discover that the current projection for legal immigration in this 2023 appears to be, I think I got this right, 675,000. Wow, extraordinary. And it was 500,000 last year, of course, with Ukraine and Hong Kong thrown in. But honestly, where's all that? Where's it going? I mean, can the country really absorb people at that rate? I have my doubts, grave doubts. And then, of course, there's the whole business of stop the boats. And I don't even know where to begin talking about that one. But of course, the numbers there are considerably less than 675,000. I think, is it 46,000 projected for this year? But it's all very alarming. And watching from Japan, it doesn't look good at all. And then I think it's next week, is it? Yeah, I believe so. We're expecting Liz Truss to visit Taiwan. I presume she's been invited, but presumably there will be no better reaction from the Chinese than when Nancy Pelosi came from the USA fairly recently. And I dare say the reaction could be a lot worse. So that's something which I'm not particularly looking forward to, I'm about to say. Okay, I think I will draw it to a close there, since this is my first attempt at this sort of video. Thank you.